started a short forward fold to get out any kinks in the neck or back. Couple kinks in the neck. Also, you get a kink in the low back. No, not so much. Didn't pop. It just went away by flexing it. Alright, so next up, upward facing dog. Good stuff. Get the timer set for 3 minutes. Already started. And the low back. Well, it's not too bad today. Doing better than what it started out yesterday. Yesterday, I think, took quite a while for the low back to get into place. Feels like the low back's more or less in place. Let the head go back as counterweight. Feel the stretch. Yeah, it's that first part of getting the low back in place that makes upward facing dog such a great pose as a starter pose for other back bends. Because if I tried other poses, right, that require more effort, then I might not be as successful. Such as scorpion pose, such as wheel pose. So feel some nice sensation. Feel the forearms when you got the fingers pointed towards the toes. Feel the low back. And just use that, feel that sensation in the body. Maybe use the back muscles a little bit. Or just try and relax. Let gravity do as much work as it can. Just breathe. Equal parts inhale and exhale. 40 seconds left. Breathe through the nose if you can. And relax. Feel the body. Feel where the sensation is. Feel how that changes as you continue to hold the pose. And 3 minutes are up. All right. There we go. Next up, wheel pose. Hands by the ears. I put my head on the earth as a starter. And then get this up. I saw it yesterday. It looked like my shoulders were not over my wrists. See if I can do anything about that. Looks like that's a no. So yeah, looks like I got a lot of room to grow in this. Because the shoulders just do not want to get over the wrists. I feel a lot of stretching on the abs, actually. You can look up towards the ground. And it's interesting how, the muscles aren't used to this, so they start to get tired quickly. least I got my feet on the earth. Sometimes I gotta lift the heel up to get the feet close enough to press into the earth. Minute 40 seconds left. Probably not gonna make it. And that's that. Alright. So in the minute that's left, let's see if I can hit the old scorpion pose. Start with the left leg. Find some balance. Find the pose. And relax for another 54 seconds. Keep breathing. Equal parts inhale and exhale. Let the breath slide through the body for another 20 seconds if you can. Count the breaths and relax. 5 seconds. And there we go. Alright. Super intense. More intense than the wheel pose. It seems like a lot more stuff is working. Alright. Next up. Forward fold. The real forward fold this time. Get there slowly. Heels, ankles, balls of the feet together. So knuckle the big toe together, of the big toes. Knuckles of the big toes touching. Then relax the toes. Let the body relax. Hands under the feet. Continue to relax a little more. Pose. Continue to breathe if you can. Yeah, if you can, breathe, right? Can breathe through the nose. Surprised myself, I can breathe through the nose. A little bit congestion in the right nostril, so it's not so easy. A minute and 18 seconds left. Straighten the legs. Feet a little bit further underneath, or the hands a little bit further underneath the feet. Scrub out the toes. Relax. Allow the pelvis to rotate more. And now I'm starting to feel the hamstrings a little bit, but it's not an intense muscle stretch. Not like when I'm on the floor in Janu Sirsasana.
It's more of just kind of an overall hamstring-ish area stretch. So it's like the back of the thighs. And it seems to be a little bit of a nerve stretch instead of just a muscle stretch. Feel a little kink in the neck.
Oh, look at that. Overtime. Alright. Very cool. Next up. Today is the 19th. So let's do this, which is left foot behind the head. Okay, I guess the other way. Yeah. Something like that, right? Feel it slowly. Alright, you got 3 minutes, so you find the pose that you can hold the rest of the day. And as I just tested, if I get the foot right behind the head straight away, I might not be able to hold that all day long. So I'm just working it closer. Ah. Something moved. Be very careful. A muscle felt like it moved around the bone. There's a pop in the hip, but again, that was a muscle or tendon sliding over the bone. So that's got a very interesting feel to it. So what I want to do is, right, get the foot closer to the chest and neck. Alright, I can use my right elbow to do that. But I feel a pretty intense stretch on that left hip. So I'm just going to go with this. If I could probably get my head around the ankle, but I don't think that would be sustainable. I'm feeling a nice stretch right here, so I'm just going to go with the stretch right here. So it seemed like as I started relaxing that hip muscle, that's when the hip or tendon started to loosen up and then move around into a different spot around the muscles at the hip. Yeah, starting to feel a pretty intense stretch that I don't usually feel when I'm doing the old half pigeon with the foot under the shoulder, or shoulder under the foot, like I've been doing for the past couple weeks. So look at that, doing this stretch now, and I got 5 seconds left. Because I feel just like, it's like a very small muscle. It's a very small part of the muscle getting stretched, but it is pretty intense. Alright, so clear that out. Start up the next one. And yeah, so the way I start this, right? Get the knee on the ear, right? Then you can get the foot behind the head. Oh, hey, look. So that's a lot easier. But I also want to get that muscle into that position. Yeah, that's very interesting. So yeah, on this side I got the foot around the head much easier. But then when I just do this stretch, right, which is basically kind of get the knee around the tricep and start bringing the ankle towards the throat. Right, because supposedly I should just be able to bring the ankle towards the throat, but my hip is the limiting factor. And it feels like it's a little small-ish muscle in my thigh, and it's the one that's putting up the resistance that's saying, hey, yeah, not sustainable, chill out a little bit. So that's the muscle I'm stretching. Whereas if I flip over 180 degrees and I'm doing a half pigeon and I've got my chest on the floor, that's stretching out a different muscle. Yes, so this is very interesting because the muscles are having an interesting time finding the spot of least energy. And so that's why you change up your stretches every once in a while. Or if you haven't found, whatever your favorite stretch is, every once in a while you change it up. Because even though, like this, I can get the shoulder underneath. But see, that's when I curve my back. So when I flip over, right, I'm usually curving my back to get the shoulder underneath. But now, since I've got the back straight on the earth, it shows how much room there is to grow on the hip muscle to get the foot over the left shoulder towards the throat, or towards the throat to the throat towards the left shoulder. And yeah, really using both biceps to pull this in, to pull the foot in. Yeah, be very, very careful. Because I just felt another muscle twinge a little bit. So there's some little muscle right there that says, hey, yeah, in this position, I'm the limit, and you don't stretch me enough. All right, so that's a hip stretch. Next up, hamstring with a twist. So today's the 19th. We start with the left leg. Get so you can see it, maybe a little bit. And reach this forward. Yeah, I like to do the legs at more or less 90 degrees so that I can reach one hand under. Bring the left shoulder towards the earth. Man positioning. Get the man parts in a decent spot. As you roll forward on the pelvis, the man parts don't always have a place to go. In fact, they usually don't. So it's about getting comfortable with extra sensation down there. So yeah, grab the right hip with the left hand. The right hand is grabbing the left foot. The left shoulder's moving towards the earth. A little bit of stretch on the right shoulder. Yay, forehead touch the earth. Man positioning. And feeling a nice intense stretch on the left hamstring, so it's pretty cool. And eventually you want to start to open the chest towards the sky. But I've got plenty of sensation right here as it is. So I'm going to stick with this. And then keep trying to straighten that left leg. Actually using the left shoulder a little bit to push on the left knee a little bit. Just keep that left leg straight with less effort on the left leg. Yeah, lots of sensation on the left hamstring. And yes, I do have the timer started with about 30 seconds left. Usually I feel the low back a bit more
the left side of the low back, where the spine and pelvis meet. I actually feel that a little bit more when I get into the stretch. So maybe that's starting to open up a little bit.
Relax, and that's it for that side. All right. Let's get this where the right foot can be seen. Grab the timer, get the next side started. So again, try to get, and so I opened up a little bit more as I was getting into the stretch. So if you square the shoulders towards the left leg, you can see, or I can see at least, that my left leg, as compared to my right leg, is a little bit more than 90 degrees. That's basically the position that I got to on the other side, because the pelvis will start to open so that I can get the shoulder down. So we start on this side. So even though I'm stretching the right leg, I'm actually stretching the left shoulder. My left shoulder is a little bit tighter than my right shoulder. Not that you could tell, but the right leg is a little more open. The right hip is a little more open. So you're going to actually get down a little faster, even though eventually I'll feel a little more of a limit on the left shoulder. I think I've got my left hand, right, a little bit closer to the heel. There's that bone that is connected to the pinky toe, right? There's the edge of that bone, right? Then there's that little space before the heel where the heel starts. So I'm grabbing that space with my left hand, which is not, I was not able to grab that on the other side. The fingers were a little closer to the toes as compared to the heel on the other side. On this side, with my left hand on my right foot, my fingers are just a little bit, maybe a finger width, closer to the right heel than the toes. I think the way to enhance the stretch more on the shoulder is to get the hand closer to the heel. And then I've got a nice intense shoulder stretch, so that's about all I can do. I've got decent stretch on the hamstring, so yeah, on the other side I felt more of a hamstring stretch. Maybe because the left side's tighter. But in any case, we got 20 seconds up, 22 seconds. Nice stretch. Lots of intensity on the left shoulder, lots of sensation. Oh yeah, that's right. And then you can grab the underside of the hamstring. Actually intensifies the stretch. So the right hand grabs underneath the left hamstring to help intensify the stretch. All right, that's that. Clear the timer. Good job. Start the timer. Next pose. Let's see here. I want to do this today. Start off with Baddha Konasana, right? If you're following along. If you can bring this all the way down to the earth, that's a good sign. If you can't, just keep on doing that. Because next up after that is wide splits, but you want to bring the pelvis towards the earth. Hey, I can scoot this forward a little bit to be more in the camera. And then, if you're a guy, get yourself situated because you got the pelvis just pressing into the earth. And then today, get the hands up to feel an extra stretch on the shoulders.
So the reason I have the hands up, right, you can analyze the fingers, whatever you want, prayer pose, whatever feels good for you, right? Point one of the fingers, point the fingers with the other fingers analyzed on the other side. But what this does is allows you to bring the elbows together. Press down, put pressure into the elbows, and open up the shoulders. The underside of the shoulders is where the stretch is felt. So that's interesting. And you relax, and you breathe. You can pulse the muscles in the leg, close to the hips and thighs, so that you can get a feel for what it's like to fire those muscles, trigger those muscles in an enhanced expression of the pose. So it really it feels different, right? As compared to like your normal daily activity when you're using those muscles, right? When you find a nice enhanced expression of the pose, and then you start firing the muscles, or pulsing the muscles, right? It's a different sensation that the body needs to figure out and compensate for another 25 seconds. Breathe through the nose. And relax. Feel the body. And the 3 minutes are up. All right. Hey, look at that. Got some viewers. Awesome stuff. For my 8 a.m. yoga. Get this started. Next up, last pose is Mr. Handstand. Let's see how we can do today. Yeah, by no means am I not expert on the handstand, but I practice it every day in an effort to get better. So, start off, hands about shoulder width. Instead of the middle finger, right, is where the hand is pointing. Instead of the middle fingers pointing straight, for me that hurts my wrists. I have the middle fingers pointing out to the side. So the middle finger is actually making about a 90-degree angle. Looks like it's just a hair less than 90 degrees. And the hands are shoulder width apart. All right, and then you transfer weight onto the hands. Press this up. There we go. Get into a nice starter position. Check out your surroundings so that when you fall over, you know what's going to happen. And ever so gently press in the hands and lift the hips up. Maybe. And go slow if you can. It's much more difficult to go slow, especially when you're first learning, because you can't get up and you have to kind of jump up. That's okay. But the slower you can go, the more control that you have. Rats. That was not planned, but that's what happened. So, actually, what I want to do now is finish off a little bit of time with a headstand. Do not try a headstand at home. Only if you know what you're doing. Very easy to hurt the neck. So, for a headstand, what I like to do, right, this is a great starter tripod, right, so you got the hands about, right, nice easy position. And when you have lots of practice, right, you can just float in a lotus. Hey, look at that. And again, if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. So for somebody that knows what you're doing, right? I say that because you're putting a lot of force onto your neck that you're not usually used to. And if you did one side, you do the other, right? So flip the legs. It's just that easy. And then what's really super cool, right, is you bring the legs, the knees, down to the elbows.
So you get the knees kind of resting on the elbows. And timer's up. What I want to do is I want to get my elbows to the earth, hands to the head. Like that. Right there. And then bring the knees to the elbows.
Alright. Cool. Well, again, headstand. Don't do that if you're not ready for it. How do you start off? You play with it, but you don't put any weight on the head. For those that joined, awesome stuff. You rock. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you all each enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.